FYF Sportsman, it's Lamont. We back with another podcast video. Got some more news and information for you today. Some announcements toward the end of the video as well. Giveaway information. All of those details will be at the end of the video, so make sure you stick around. All right. We need again, if you're a real fan, you stick around. You know we give gems at the end of our videos. So if you want to get those entries for additional giveaways, make sure you stick around. But today we're going to be talking about, and again, I love just kind of sitting back, listening to NBA head coaches. And when we're talking about Stan Van Gundy, most recently hired as the coach of the New Orleans Pelicans, one of the more unique hirings. It was actually good to kind of sit back and listen to what he said he was going to do with, one of the more interesting players on that roster. Before we get started, make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell to the video if you haven't done so already. I really appreciate you guys for helping me get to 15K subscribers so quickly. I mean, the next goal is to 20K subscribers, so we're going to keep grinding. We're going to keep pushing content. You know what I'm saying? We're going to keep doing these giveaways, giving back to the community because you guys are giving so much to the channel. So we definitely want to give the subscribers a round of applause. But today we are talking about Stan Van Gundy, the new coach of the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, when I thought about this, when they fired Alvin Gentry, I'm thinking they need to bring an innovative coach in who specializes in how to use point guards effectively. That was my initial thought. I'm thinking a guy like Jason Kidd, a specialist in this league at the point guard position, could really help Lonzo Ball find his way in the NBA, find his niche, find his role, find a way to be great with the skill sets that he has. I thought maybe a newer face from the college game that we haven't seen. I like guys like Shaka Smart, Jay Wright, or even Matt Painter with Purdue. I thought even some of those guys could come in and really rejuvenate that organization. And when I saw this hire, when I saw Stan Van Gundy as the hire, I was kind of taken aback because I've seen this man coach before. We've seen him have stints with other teams. He actually did a really good job when he was with Orlando and Dwight Howard, helping build that team up. They made some really good deep playoff runs, and again, they with a very unique roster. So again, I wasn't a really big fan of this particular hiring, but I want to give every coach his fair chance, especially hear him out, because obviously he convinced the organization that this is the best hire, and one of the keys to this team, one of the keys to unlocking this team, is figuring out how to use Lonzo Ball. This guy, if you're honest about his game, he's ultra and uber talented. He has all of the keys. He's extremely unselfish. He's gifted. He's extremely high basketball IQ. I think it's just been confidence. When he was coached under Luke Walton and with the Lakers, I felt like Luke Walton did not use him correctly. Going into that second year, they bring in LeBron James, and LeBron James kind of takes over that point guard role, which pushes Lonzo Ball off ball, so he kind of loses effectiveness. He comes into New Orleans, first year with the team, comes out the gate slow, doesn't have a great start, but he eventually picks it up. And as soon as it looks like that team has rhythm, they were one of the hottest teams in the league. Then the pandemic hits and shuts all of that down. So they're out for 4 months. They come back into the bubble setting, and and Lonzo Ball just never found footing. And as he went, that rest of that team went as well. On top of the fact that Zion Williamson looked out of shape, and just none of the guys. To be honest, they didn't look like they wanted to be a part of the bubble play, and it showed. So I like the fact that Lonzo Ball did take accountability for his bad play. He's made a commitment this offseason, especially one of the first off seasons he's had healthy, so he can actually work on his game. So now the big question is, since they fired Alvin Gentry, is how is Stan Van Gundy going to use Lonzo Ball? And again, he there's a lot of talented players on that roster. He has to do more. He has to do more than just focus in on just Lonzo Ball. You got Brandon Ingram, all-star level player, potentially superstar level talent if he can unleash. You got Zion Williamson, even out of shape and not healthy, he still averaged 22 points a game, 6 rebounds in only 24 games. He's going to blossom next season. You still got, young players on that bench. So they have a lot for him to kind of address. So the more I thought about it, bringing in a coach specifically for Lonzo Ball isn't going to benefit that team, because you got so many needs that you need to address. Not just offensively, but you're talking defensively as well, because they were one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and we know he can correct some of those defensive woes. But what we're going to do is Stan Van Gundy did a radio interview. He spoke for about 3 minutes on how he would use Lonzo Ball based on what he understands about his games. He was very honest about his strengths. He was very honest about his weaknesses. And I just thought it was a really good listen. And it actually gave me more confidence in his ability to turn this team around. Because, the one thing a coach has, one of the best attributes of a coach is being able to be honest with a player, especially at the NBA level. At the NBA level, you're dealing with guys with egos going through the roof. And with those egos, it's hard to communicate to these players what they aren't good at and what they need to work on. And a coach that can be honest with you is going to be one of the better coaches in this league. So again, we're just going to go to the soundbite. I just want you guys to chime in on what Stan Van Gundy has to say about Lonzo Ball. We're just going to let it play through. I just want you guys to soak it up, absorb the information, and then we're going to get right back to it. But here's Stan Van Gundy on Lonzo Ball.
To me, Lonzo Ball, when you're looking at his positives, size, smarts. I think the guy's a very, very smart player, and he's extremely unselfish. He would much rather pass the ball than do anything else on the court. So you've got the start toward being a very effective basketball player, as you mentioned, shooting 38% from three and making like 2.5 threes a game.
He was launching like freaking JJ Redick toward the end of the season.
Like 12 shots. And the thing I will say is one of the things that I thought was a good step forward for Lonzo Ball this year is he had some games where he was like 1 for 10, 1 for 11 from three. And I saw that as a real positive because, in the past, what I had seen from him, if he'd shoot those first 3 and they didn't go in, he was passing up shots. Now, I think Alvin Gentry had convinced him, like, no. You're going to keep shooting the ball, and if you're open, you shoot it. So I think that they've got a good thing in Lonzo Ball. Obviously, he's only 22. Where his development has got to come is shots off the dribble. Both at the rim, can he find a way to finish? He hasn't really figured that out. And he really can't shoot the jump shot or a float. He doesn't have any of that off the dribble right now. So if he has to put the ball on the floor going to the basket, he's simply looking to pass the ball. You can see it with defensive teams. They really don't commit to him because he doesn't have great explosion going to the basket anyway, and he doesn't want to really shoot the ball in those situations. That would be his place to develop. But man, at 6'6", with his ability to defend, he passes the ball and he's making the three. I think sometimes we can get too focused on what guys can't do. He's got a nice package of skills. And as you mentioned, they've got other ball handling parts, pieces. He doesn't need to facilitate everything in the half court. And I almost think if everything goes right and you can run your half court offense through Zion Williamson, Brandon Ingram, and Jrue Holiday with some catch and shoot movement stuff for JJ Redick in the half court, what's the problem if Lonzo Ball becomes mainly just a standstill shooter? You know,
No problem.
you don't have a problem.
Because you're gonna play 25 possessions a game in transition anyway, which is where his bread and butter is.
Yeah, and again, I think that's what you do as a coach is you look to people's strengths and you put it together. Like, you know, we've been reading about, and I don't want to get too far off topic, but we've been reading about with Philly, you know, Ben Simmons playing more as a traditional 4. I sort of think Ben Simmons as the point guard in transition, let's go ahead and outlet to him, or he's such a great rebounder like Lonzo Ball is. Take it off the glass and go ahead and be our point guard in transition. And then in the half court, fine. Then we'll use Ben Simmons as the screener in pick and rolls. And I think there's going to be more and more guys in the league like that who are hybrid type guys that in transition, they're going to play one position, and in the half court, they're going to have a whole nother role. And I think that's where Lonzo Ball fits for these guys.
We got Stan Van Gundy on Lonzo Ball, man. And I honestly think he made a lot of really good points. He made a lot of really good points there. And again, it's about being honest about his game. He didn't try to gloss over it. He didn't try to paint it, he didn't try to make it prettier than what it was. He just said it like it was. There are things that he needs to fix. I mean, he obviously has issues with aggressiveness, getting to the basket, inability to make free throws consistently. We know that these are issues with his game, but on the flip side of that, there are positives. And just like he said, and I talk about this all the time with other players. We waste so much time talking about what players can't do, but we don't spend any time talking about what they can do. And all of these guys are in the NBA for a reason. So obviously all of these guys are great at something. You only get to the NBA by being great at something. And Lonzo Ball definitely has a lot of great attributes. And it's on a coach to emphasize what you can do great. And so by allowing Lonzo Ball to excel and get out in transition, we know that's what he loves to do. He loves to move the ball up the court, play fast off the rebound, or turnovers. Allow him to do that. We know he struggled in the half court. And in the half court, and I talk about this a lot as well, in the half court, if you can assign guys roles, if he knows that in the half court in this new offense, he's going to be a spot up 3-point shooter. Well, in the off season, what can he do in the off season? He's working on all spot up threes. He's not working on, he's going to obviously work on other aspects of his game, but he's going to be working on spot up threes, corner threes, because he knows in the half court set, this is what I'm going to be doing. And when you assign roles like that, it makes it easier for guys to work on their game, especially to operate better within a specific system. And with a new coach coming in, he's probably going to be there for the next 2, 3, 4 years. Lonzo's probably going to sign an extension and be with this team for the next couple of years. It only makes sense to get better at what the coach wants you to do or expects out of you. And again, you just have to star in your role. And then you'll hear this a lot at higher levels. You got to begin to star in your role. Don't worry about trying to be great at everything. If you listen to our live streams, you hear me talk a lot about Giannis Antetokounmpo and how a lot of people say, oh, he needs to get a jumper. He needs to get a 3-point shot. He needs to get better at this. You know what? Right now, Giannis is starring in his role. He's starring in his role so much so that he's now the 2-time MVP and the Defensive Player of the Year. I mean, he doesn't become that great if he has all of these flaws that people want to point out. Maybe the other guys around him need to be better stars in their role. And if they were better in their role, it would have been able to accentuate his strengths on the court. So, and I think the same thing goes for Lonzo Ball. I mean, Brandon Ingram has his weaknesses. He's a great scorer, but there are other things that he's not strong at that could help Lonzo Ball if he got better. The same with Zion and his fitness. He needs to get his fitness together so he can stay on the court longer. Because when he's on the court with Lonzo Ball, that team is extremely tough to guard. All right, we've seen that. All right, with Drew Holiday, the ability to play off ball and make shots consistently. We need that more. All right, the consistency. I mean, all of those guys can start better in their roles, including Lonzo Ball. And if you emphasize that, if you continue to emphasize that, I think that's the makings of a great team. They have a great core group. They have a great core. All right, and with this, with free agency, there's some solid vets out there that you can add to this roster, and we know they have the cap space to make moves. There's some solid vets that you can add to this roster to help calm the storm when things kind of get out of whack. And that's one of the problems with this team is when things get crazy, when they get flustered, they don't know how to bounce back. They don't know how to settle down and recover. And I like, based on what Stan Van Gundy was saying, I think he's the coach for that job. I think he's going to be able to bring in those veterans that can help calm the storm and can help motivate and give guys especially those young guys, give those guys confidence going into next season. So I can't wait. I'm not for sure when the season is going to start. I'm hoping that they get this thing started early and they don't wait until late January like some of the players want. I hope they can get started in December. We got the draft coming up. In about a week and a half, 2 weeks. I cannot wait for the draft. A few days after the draft is hopefully slated to open up free agency. And again, as I've told you guys before, it's too quiet. All of these teams are too quiet. All the chatter that we've been hearing is all just media spin. Nothing's coming directly from the teams. The few things that we've heard kind of sprinkled out there as far as Drew Holiday being on the trade block, that's accurate. Gordon Hayward wanting out of his contract, that's accurate. But other than that, we haven't really heard too many things based off fact. Things are based off of rumors or situations or occurrences that might have happened last year or during the season before the pandemic hit. And a lot of these things have changed for most teams. So just like things changed for the New Orleans Pelicans coming out of the pandemic, going into the bubble, they didn't play well. I think things are going to be changing and moving around for a lot of teams the same way. So a lot of decisions will have to get made here pretty soon. But I want you guys to let me know what you think. What do you think about this hire with Stan Van Gundy? What do you think about what he had to say about Lonzo Ball? Again, I haven't given up on Lonzo Ball. I've been highly critical of at least of his play in the bubble. I'm still a big fan. I still appreciate his game. I still see the talent. But again, in the NBA, it's still about getting the job done. And for Lonzo Ball, we got to see him get the job done, and not just for a span of 10 games or 5 games. We need to see you get it done for an entire season. So, the contract year, we know how players play under contract year. If there's any time for you to show up and play, this is the year. So again, just like some of these other guys, it's just time to get it done. But again, let me know what you think. Hit us up in the comments, all right? In the live chat right there. Let us know what you're thinking. When we come into the live stream, if this is something you want to debate about, if you're completely against, if you've completely given up on Lonzo Ball, let us know in the live chats. We can debate about it. We can talk about it. But again, the only way, I want to see new faces on those panels. So y'all got to start coming in, just get your thoughts together. This is not one of those panels where we're going to jump down your throat if you say the wrong thing. We're not going to jump down your throat if you misquote a statistic. We understand. A lot of times we understand the logic behind some of the statements that people make, whether we agree with them or not. So again, we just want people to kind of get out that comfort zone, come into the live panel, chop it up with the debates. It just makes the show more interesting. But it's FYF Sports, man, with another great podcast video. I want you guys, we're going to be doing a $100. We're going to be doing a $100 Cash App giveaway. All right. So I just want you to spam in the chat. Let's get some hashtag FYF gangs in the chat. Hashtag FYF gang in the chat. All right, for your entry into the $100 Cash App giveaway. All right, so the day that this video drops, we'll be doing that giveaway on the live chat for that evening. So just be prepared. So make sure you're hitting that hashtag FYF gang. Hashtag FYF gang for your entry into that drawing. And we'll select the winner that night. All right, and then we'll find more creative ways to do more giveaways. But, again, we really, I have no choice but to do these giveaways. I have to give back to you guys because, the growth of this channel has been ridiculous. The growth has been ridiculous. Just coming from the subscribers, the only way I grow like this is if you guys are really engaged in the content. You guys are sharing the videos. You're telling somebody else about the videos. All right, that's the only way this channel grows. So again, this is just my way of showing my appreciation back to you guys. I can't give everybody $100, but I can do as many giveaways as possible, just so y'all know that I appreciate what y'all doing for this channel and helping this channel grow. And in turn, I'm gonna keep the content coming. right, I'm trying to keep giving you that high quality look and feel every time we drop videos. But it's FYF Sportsman, been another great podcast video. We'll be back soon, but for now, we out.